Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with my dear friend, Terry Wong. Terry was born in Vancouver, BC, moved to Red Deer, my hometown area, in 1980, and then to Calgary in 1982, thank goodness. Besides his loved ones, Terry is extremely passionate about helping people, community, and his Chinese culture and heritage. I watch him do this all day long, folks. He is an amazing human. Friend, you'll find his full bio attached. Terry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine. Nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I'm so excited to hear how this reveals and all the things that you're going to say and all the things that you're going to be doing as our Ward 7 leader. I'm excited to hear. So I'm curious to know why you're doing what you're doing.
Oh, Catherine, this is a very interesting question. I think there's two stories there. One of which is I've had over 40 years in the public sector, working in healthcare, working with civic administration, as well as working communities and as such. I ran once in 2013, and I thought after that I would have retired and just kind of enjoyed a retirement life. But the second part of the equation, what triggered it is that over the past year or so, I've been involved with 31 different communities across the city in trying to, I say, get the city to improve on certain policies. Through that discussion, a lot of people said, Terry, you're acting like a counselor. Why don't you do this? I said, well, I'd like to enjoy retirement, quite frankly. But a couple of other things came up as well that really pushed it over the edge. One of which was good friends of ours who ran a Dairy Queen up on Center Street there. The City Council, the City Planning Commission, the councillor, and the City File Manager essentially said to the owners, no, we're not going to let you rebuild the Dairy Queen as is. And this Korean family who, just like my parents when they first came here, struggling to make a go of it, contributing to a community, said, we're without anything if we don't have our Dairy Queen. So we worked with them, took them to the subdivision appeal board, won the appeal, but also at the same time, we wanted to send a message back to City Council that, we can't be messing with people's businesses, their lives, their livelihoods, and effectively the media covered the story, and without telling the media where to go, they went with the story accordingly, and it was subsequent to that, then people said, you really need to make a difference at City Hall. So those are the two reasons why.
And that Dairy Queen story, that pulled at everyone's heartstrings, didn't it? And what a great reversal. It's an example of all the great things that you do, and thank you for bringing that forward.
Thank you.
Your three things, Terry. Every guest on our Cat's Track has their top three things they want to share. What's yours?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that in terms of why I'm doing what I'm doing, as I said before, it's about creating a great city, serving community, and helping taxpayers around, citizens around, have a great life. Calgary is a great city, as you mentioned earlier. I came to Alberta in 1980, and certainly understand what rural life was all about, but at the same time understand what city life can be. And I think the great story I guess I'd like to say is that when I started the city in 1984. I remember the Chief Commissioner, George Cornish, saying to me at the time, the greatest government, the greatest city you could ever have is where your elected officials, your administration, your taxpayers are on even balance with each other. And again, we understand what legislation and services and ultimately what taxpayers' needs and expectations are. And so having said that, over the course of the last 40 years, and more particularly, I'd say over the last 20 years, I've seen that balance, go askew, and progressively more so going askew. And so for me, it's about getting balance back to the city. We're certainly in a situation right now where over half of council either will be retiring or seeking positions as mayor, and we need new people, new blood, but experienced people and experienced blood to come in. So I think that's the one thing I'll say is that 36 years of experience with the city, you're going to get the oldest rookie that knows what he's doing.
That is right. You are that. I love it. And some interesting competition, but quite frankly, I don't see them as that. So I'm very happy that you're running, Terry.
Thank you. Yeah, again, I think the other thing that I'll say is that talking to the different constituents at the doors, we've door knocked literally 1/3 of all of Ward 7 already. And most of the people are saying, we just want to have a voice, but not just a voice that, we can express, but a voice that is actually being heard, and a voice that's actually being, taken on seriously to do something about. So the one of the parts of my campaign is what my career model is doing the right things and doing things right. And doing the right things is listening and learning from people first, and then learning to lead the way they want to go. And so that's certainly one of the things I'll bring to council if I can make it that way, is again doing the right things. But secondly, that we have to do it in the right sort of way, and that's the responsibility of administration. And administration has to be given, again, the permission, the authority, but also the guidance of Calgarians as to what is the right thing to do and how to do it right. And it's not a question of perpetuating what I might call ideological or sociological sort of wishes, but rather, Calgary is a great city. Calgary of over 140 years has amounted to a lot of great things, but we need to recognize this is still Calgary. Calgarians have put a lot of blood, sweat, and investment into it, and we want them to be heard and have Calgary built for them.
I'm going to go off script a little bit, if you don't mind. You know that I'm extremely passionate about, well, much of all of our downtown. I'm passionate about Calgary. I think there's some opportunity in Chinatown, and I'd love to hear your thoughts around how we can revitalize it and how do we get people back down there again. Do you have a few ideas?
I do. Let me start first off by saying, coming from Vancouver, I spent the first 20 plus years of my life in Vancouver, Chinatown, and it was a very vibrant place. Crowded sidewalks, markets on the street. Every year, every season, we used to have different sort of festivals and events, and encourage families to come out, and not just Chinese families, any families, come down to our Chinese schools or cultural centers and teach them, whether it be martial arts or Chinese dance or whatever. But if you take a look at Vancouver's Chinatown today, it doesn't look like what it was during the 60s and 70s. And my greatest fear when I first came to Calgary here was that we are about 10 to 15 years behind the time in terms of the evolution of our Chinatown. And I've been warning our both our association leaders as well as the City Council that if you don't put the money, the time, and investment into Chinatown today, go to Vancouver now, and that's what it's going to be 15 years from now. Right? And having said that, the taking on responsibility as the executive director of the Chinatown's Business Improvement Area, one of the fundamental things I've said is this is one Chinatown for everyone. Regardless of your place of origin or when you came, or whether you're Asian or non-Asian, this is one Chinatown for everyone. And in implementing that, there is 3 strategies we're trying to impose there, and one of which is Chinatown will be seen to be clean and safe. And secondly, Chinatown will be seen to be a must-visit destination. And thirdly, it is that Chinatown will be a great experience. Now, you ask the question, where did those 3 sort of directives come from? And they come from literally every tourist attraction around the world. Whether you go to Paris or Disney World or Hawaii, right? That is what people want, and that is what we will try to create for Chinatown. Having said that, we've done a lot over the past few years in terms of beautification and cleaning, hanging new street banners and putting new flower pots and lanterns every couple of years. But more importantly, what we do want to do is create what we call tomorrow's Chinatown cultural plan that says, if this Chinatown's been here since 1910, for 111 years, what's the next Chinatown going to be over the next 111 years? And we've engaged thousands of people, and we're about ready to unveil what that cultural plan looks like. And that would lead to what we call a local area plan, and that will allow developers, investors to come and say, I want to be a part of it. I want to rebuild this parking lot. I want to be able to take this, building of 1910 and modernize it and refurbish it. So those are the things that on a big picture we want to do, but certainly on a lower local level, we want to reinvite all Calgarians to come on down and enjoy the different stores and restaurants and tell us the different sort of experiences you want to achieve.
Oh, dim sum, my favorite.
As a good friend of mine says, and you may know Danny Yang, you can't come to Chinatown without chicken feet. So
yes, you're right. And I do love him. Oh my God. Excellent. Okay. And the opportunity, or what's on the new frontier? What's happening in the next year besides you winning?
Yeah, certainly winning is the most important thing for us right now. And again, winning is certainly part of my agenda. Let's put this in my career agenda, was to get in a place where I can actually make public policy changes. But more importantly, it's about getting Calgary back to the Calgary that people enjoyed. When we're flourishing, we're people enjoying our parks and enjoying our amenities such as our zoos and Heritage Park, but also enjoying our downtown core. And that's my passion over the next 4 to 8 years, 1 to 2 terms, is to find a way to revitalize. And we've got a great downtown. I've traveled many different cities across North America, and I always come back here, despite people saying, "Well, do you want to move here? Want to work here?" No, Calgary is a great place, and we want Calgarians to recognize that, and we want Calgarians to participate. And to do that, we need them to recognize. We need to invest as well. If you ask what is on my if I elected my council agenda for the first couple of years, and that's to put Calgary on a foundation to build towards that future, and that post-pandemic, with this with the stagnant, if not downward trend in the oil and gas industry, we need to do a lot of different things, and but these things have to be done PDQ with some very quick instant wins, because if we don't establish the instant wins, the psychology of Calgarians and especially the kids coming out of school will say, you know what, there are better places to be, let's go.
That's right. It's happening right now. We need to change that.
Exactly. And I will say that while the city has come out with a greater downtown strategy, I will challenge it a little bit, only because I think there's some things that are investments for long term, and that could be started a little bit later, and rather start some investments for the short term to create the foundation, get people to recognize, don't run away, because we will be back. But here are some of the things that we can do right now that you can come on and enjoy downtown, and in the meantime, get us back to full employment, and get people to appreciate the Calgary that we all know.
You are going to be a great council person, Terry. I'm looking forward to your win, and I'm going to do all that I can to promote how amazing you are. Thank you for being willing to put your name in the hat and serve our community in the way that you plan to. I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you, Catherine.
Everyone, Terry Wong for Ward 7. Please put your X there if you're in Ward 7. If you need to learn more, you will see all his information and platform on his website. Check out his LinkedIn and all of his background. He's an amazing human. Thank you so much for joining us on Cat's Track, and we'll see you next time.